Hi, everyone.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Wow, we get on, there's already 114 people on here, so give everybody a few more minutes to get in. Hope everybody had a blessed weekend. Yeah, we did get a package yesterday morning. I think I'll text or email you, but yeah, we did get it. So thank you. Received your paperwork.
Thank all of you who sent forms to us and certified mail slips and all of that. We got quite a few of them today. So thank you so much for helping us with that.
Yep. And I had several slips in the mailbox this afternoon too to go pick up at the post office in the morning. So if you sent something and it shows it's been delivered, it's probably at my post office. We actually had our mailbox was full, and one of the package things were full of envelopes and boxes today. So
we'll wait a few more minutes because more people are coming in.
Yeah, I haven't tracked that package yet, Deborah. I haven't had time, but I will track it tonight to see where it's at. Does anybody know how to change it to slow-mo?
Yeah, we would have to get out and get back in.
So yeah, for the next live, I'll slow it down. I think I had it at 60 seconds or something, but I guess I need to slow it down a little bit. So
I mean, if we have any moderators that could slow it down, that would be good too. I don't know if you can. I'm going to grab something real fast.
we're not educating on the OID, guys. That is what we fill out. So I use the OID to file your guys' paperwork. So
Okay, I'm back.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. We'll open with prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer tonight. We just thank you for this time together. Thanks for bringing us all back safely from the weekend. And we come to you tonight just to visit with one another and to learn what you would have us to learn and to just grow together as a group in this movement that you have created. And we just thank you so much for allowing us this time, and ask that you would come into our meeting here and that you would speak to us and speak through Drew and I, and let us do whatever it is that your will is in this movement. Lord Jesus, we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
And for all of you going through tough times, and I know that there's a lot of you out here that are going through tough times because we've talked to you. Here's a little word just a little word for tonight. My God shall supply all your need according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. So just remember that all of our needs will be supplied. Maybe not all of our wants, but all of our needs will, just in God's time. So give it to him and he'll give it back to you.
So we think Nasera is rolling out here in Texas and all across the country, guys. Jasera is global. It will not take place in the United States. It's just global. Just Nasera. Jasera is for everybody else. So when you look at that, Nasera is for the states. Jasera is for all the other countries. So I see people asking where you get the forms. I don't know what forms. If you're looking for the agreement, we've had to take it down again, guys. We've had it taken, put on another person's Telegram channel, pretending to be us. He's reaching out. He or she is reaching out, offering loans using the agreement. They're asking for $500 to do the paperwork up front. Somebody else reached out to me today and said that they were asking for $50 Cash App fee to even get started with the process. Guys, we don't ask for any money from you guys unless you want us to file your OID online. We're not doing personal loans. If you get an email from us, or you get a link in your a DM in your Telegram, please make sure that is actually us. We're not doing personal loans. We are not doing.
We're not charging $50 to get your paperwork started, which is another scam.
Or $500 or $1,500 or anything, guys. So please be aware of that. We've had people that have had to get out of the Telegram and find, and there's multiple. There's already multiple channels that are mimicking what we're doing because they're trying to take your guys' money. So please be careful, guys. We can't stress that enough. Just for y'all to be careful. So,
and with that said, we have a lot of cyber people within our team. We've built a good team behind the scenes that have cyber experience, and they are tracking those people, and we're tracking IP addresses, and we are turning them into Telegram, and we are turning them into a lot of other sources. So those people that are scamming, we actually have their IP addresses, and we will make sure that they are reported accordingly. And we could use your help with that too. All you have to do is say @no-to-scam to report on Telegram, @no-to-scam to report them on Telegram. Take a screenshot and send it to them if you've been contacted. They know that there's a lot of people in need in this group, and they're taking advantage of that. So please tell any friends, family that you're referring to us to not go to give money to anyone that's pretending to be us.
Yes, anybody that has sent us a package, we're going to send out emails to you guys or to personally thank you. So
that you'll know that we received them.
Yeah, so that way, and if it has your 1099-A, we'll also let you know that it's been received as we're going through them. I mean, it's been a lot of packages the last couple of days. So, so as far as the agreement that is on there right now, I think the admins have it so that you will need to ask for the agreement to make sure that it is not getting put out there for other scammers to create more sites with, guys. We're working on some other processes to secure it even further so that the chat group will become more secure, so that y'all aren't getting scammed and y'all are able to talk and do things in there and not be taken advantage of.
Our chat, by the way, we, I've always been told growing up, and I've always used the same motto on my kids: nothing good happens after midnight. So midnight Central Time, we close our channel down and we mute it. So if you're thinking that you've been blocked, you haven't been blocked. You just can't talk in the middle of the night. So we are 8 a.m. Central Time, sometimes a little earlier than that, depending how many moderators. With all the scams, we have to make sure that we have admins within that group at that time. So 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time till 11:59 p.m. Central Time, we cut it off and mute the channel.
Yeah, that way
we're doing it to protect you as well, because a lot of scammers like to come in when people are sleeping and off guard. So we think it's in your best interest and our best interest to make sure that that isn't happening, and we're giving our people that are working behind the scenes time to rest, and keep it a good community.
No, if it says book a section in the description, you're not in the right Telegram group.
First of all, book a session is what they, not section, was my first cue, but no, we would never take our YouTube video and take a screenshot of us and put it as our picture. So yeah, please don't follow that channel, that person. Anything that has an underscore in the word Jarrett Realty Investors, if there's any underscore within that name, that's not us.
Ours is all one word, guys.
Ours is Jarrett Realty Investors, period. We have a website coming soon. It's going to be really good to help with Q&A and a lot of different things. So we're working on that. But if there's ever an underscore in the name or a dot or anything with punctuation, that's not us.
I've seen some comments about teaching on the trustee part. Guys, here's the deal: as this gets bigger, we will help to teach. We'll teach some stuff on the trustee. First, we want to make sure everything works, guys. I don't want to put our names out there to teach other people, and
we want to perfect our system and make sure that we're not missing anything, along the way. And then once the funds start coming in and we know that we've got the process down perfectly, then we are more than willing to train, other people. It's not our goal to help all of America, because once people start giving their testimonies and seeing results, it's going to get even bigger of a movement. And so, our goal is to help other people, but until we've perfected our system, we can't do that. And we are also going to, in the next, I would say 3 to 4 weeks, depending on when we start getting funds in. Once funds start coming in, we're going to build a realtor network. On Telegram, we're going to have a realtor network so that we can refer to each other back and forth. And I would love to be able to refer people that are familiar with the process, familiar with what we do, familiar with how everything works, and they're in our movement too. And then we can build our network from that. But until funds start coming in and I get everything sent out, because I don't want to build that team and have that plus doing your paperwork. So I'm trying to streamline everything. When funds start coming in, we'll get a realtor network built.
And I know that you guys are saying, I messaged you in Telegram. I didn't check many messages yesterday because we were doing stuff for Easter. Saturday, I don't think Tara and I went to bed till about 3 o'clock Sunday morning working on paperwork. So I haven't looked at much. The only people that I've emailed is if I needed something. Like if I've come across something and I need it, then I've sent out an email or I've sent out a message. But I will get all that caught up. Probably by tomorrow afternoon, I'll catch all the DMs up and still work on getting all the emails caught up guys, I mean, every day there's hundreds more. So it's,
if you're emailing us, please, I cannot stress this enough. If you're emailing us about the status of your paperwork, we don't have a status on paperwork. If we've sent it out, even if it's been sent out in the last 2 weeks, we don't have an update on paperwork because it's business days, not 10. It's business days that we're going by, not calendar days. And so even if we had sent it 2 weeks ago, we're at only 10 calendar days. And I can't even call to find out where funds are unless we're 60 days in. So if you're jamming up our emails with status updates, it's really, really, we don't have one. We don't have an update for you. The only update we can give you is a tracking number that the package has been sent. And then the OIDs are filed before the packages are ever sent. When we get the folder made and the printed copy of your copy B and your agreement, we make sure everything looks right. And then we go ahead and file the OID. And then we put the packets together to mail out. So mailing your packet out is the last step. And you're going to get the tracking number, and that'll tell you, yes, my paperwork's been processed and is on its way. If you've sent us money to file OIDs online, we're doing that. We're following that online. The first step. So just anything that you can do to help us minimize the emails. So, and text messages on that would be super helpful. Yeah, because as soon as I get an update for you, I will let you know. If we get an update that anything's wrong or that something needs to be changed, they're going to come and tell us as the recipient of the funds, and then we'll come to you and let you know. But we haven't received funds yet, and I don't have an update. So,
and I know Midwest is working with the IPP and working to get that stuff in the 72 hours, guys. We've applied for all of that. We have not heard back. They told us it would be 10 business days or longer to even get the paperwork back once we filed it. So, you know, we're still pushing to try to figure that out as well and get that system in place. But until we get something back from sam.gov and the IPP stuff, we can't go any further with it. We're just in the process right now of waiting. Same thing as waiting on the funds, guys, you know. So it's all a waiting game. Once you fill it out, then it's just a waiting game. It won't move any faster until we have some other answers to make it move faster. So
yeah, tonight we're just going to do kind of a Q&A, and then we'll do more educational stuff on Wednesday. So feel free to ask away whatever questions that you have that we could answer that you would like to ask in email, or if we did a live Q&A and we could talk, put your questions out there and we'll see. Because if you've got a question, most likely other people have a question, the same question. So if you want to ask, we can get to as many answers as we can so that you're not waiting on an answer in email or on DM. So that's what tonight's about, is just, I didn't take the time to put together an educational thing for tonight. I'm going to do that on Wednesday. We're also going to do a Q&A again on Telegram on Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock Central Time. So feel free to join us then for a live voice Q&A. But in the meantime, if you've got questions that you've been waiting on an answer on email, just feel free to go ahead and start putting them out here, and we'll do what we can to get to them.
So, no, guys, you do not get a copy of the OID. The OID is only for the recipient of the funds and the payer, and the state taxes are to go. One copy goes to the state if we actually lived in a state that we had to pay taxes in. So none of the copies go back to you guys. Those are ours, because they have our EIN number on it.
Yes, I saw a couple of emails that some of the mail has intercepted on it. We have been in touch with the post office about that for Friday and today. So those packages are still going to the Treasury. We've been told there's nothing wrong with them. I don't know. They don't even know why it's saying intercepted. So, but there's nothing wrong with the packets. There's no one sending them to you or there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, because if you actually read it, it says the item has been intercepted at whatever time in New Braunfels, Texas, and redirected as requested by the sender. So everything is being sent, and I don't know why they're redirected. I have a call with, that I'm doing tomorrow with the postal inspector again to find out what they are doing and why they are.
But that's just one batch. There was one batch that we sent out last week, and those are the ones that say intercepted. All of the other ones are fine. So,
yeah, well, the ones up through Friday or Saturday, guys. We mailed out a bunch today, so I don't know what those actually say yet. But the ones the previous week have all been delivered, and we're using the same system we've always used. I think maybe I just upset the guy whenever I got mad about him not giving me my mail that day. Yes, if you got your copy B in the mail, it's been accepted. They've processed it, guys. So if you are receiving copy B in the mail from the IRS, then they have received and accepted your 1099-A.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just a matter of when they're going to release the funds. That's, they say 10 business days. So, at 10 business days, does that mean they're going to release them at 10 business days? Or does that mean that that's when they're available and then there's still a processing? So I think our first couple will actually, that we sent out, will be sometime next week that we should have kind of an answer on when that is going to be accepted, or when that's going to be released.
Yeah, but if you're getting a copy B in the mail, that's a good thing. So anybody that's going through this process, you're the borrower, and the borrower will always get that copy B from the IRS or the Treasury. I mean, sorry.
If you mailed us your 1099-A, we'll still get back in touch with you on how once we've sent it in. So,
did you answer that?
How do you check status? Yeah. So
yeah.
That was okay. If you mail it in. All right, guys, let's go over this 1099-A. We're getting a lot of 1099-As that are not correct. We're getting a lot of them that y'all are putting just the amount of what you're wanting to pay with no 5% trustee fee, no, if there's closing costs, if there's anything else. The other thing is we're getting a lot of people are sending us all their bills. Guys, if you're going to pay your bills with it, you need to pay them online, because the 1099-A, honestly, if you're going to use it on the paper form, it has to be more than $600. It states on there it's $600 or more, but they will accept it if you do it online. So, they accepted the one I mailed directly to Verizon for the $193, but for us to do it, it's going to have to be more than the $100 or whatever the bill is that you're paying, guys.
It has to be $600 or more. So if you have a recurring bill like utilities, you don't want to just pay your monthly bill, and you need to pay that. First of all, you're going to still be responsible for the first couple of months because the funds aren't going to come in. So if you're thinking that we're going to be able to pay those bills and it's going to be paid like normal, it's not. And I don't want to be held accountable for that. So So if we've got anything on your bills, we'll be in touch with you if there's anything that you need to change. If you need us to pay bills, that's fine. Put it in 1099A and let us know that, and you need to know that it's going to be a 60 business, at least 45 to 60 business days. So your bills are not going to get paid, this month and possibly not next month. So just be aware of that.
Yes, if you haven't heard anything back from us and everything is good, you're just waiting on your tracking numbers. So whenever we get those out, guys.
So that's another deal too. Once your packet goes out, and we are getting a lot of them done, they're moving very quickly out of here now that we have a team in place. So once all of your packets go out, you're going to get a tracking number. Each one of you will get a tracking number for each 1099A that you sent. So we're doing them in separate packages. And then, what was I going to say? We're sending those out, and then you're going to get moved. Once we're finished processing your paperwork, we're going to move you. Our admins in the Telegram channel are going to move you into, or invite you, because you can't just invite yourself. You've got to be invited, and you have to have an invite link into our processing group, which is our first step paperwork processing group, so that you all can talk amongst yourselves and give testimonies like that you received your copy B or whatever. And then you'll be in that group to talk amongst each other while you wait. You'll still be in our regular chat too, because now that you've gone through the process and all of your paperwork is good and we didn't find errors in your paperwork, now you have the ability to help others that are trying to get theirs done in our chat group. But then you'll also be in a group while you wait to talk about whatever testimonies or, different things while you're waiting on the process to fund.
Our email is Jarrett Realty Investors at gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat. All right, so let's go back to this 1099A that we're looking at. So if you're looking at getting a car or you're looking at getting a house, you're going to put in the payer in the lender box, that top box, that is going to be the Treasury. So it's going to be the United States Treasury, 1111 Constitution Avenue, Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20224-0002. So that's going to go in that first box. So the date is going to be today's date. If you're going to write your 1099A today, that's going to be the date that you put in there. Okay. Box 2, that is going to be your price of your house plus moving expenses plus your closing cost of about 3%, the 5% trustee fee if you're using us as a trustee. You're going to add furniture if you need furniture.
Moving costs.
Yep. So all of that totaled up is going to be in box 2. Box 4 says fair market value. That is going to be what the cost of the house is or what the cost of the car is. So if the house is $500,000, that's what you're going to put in box 4. And then description, you're going to put real property.
Or the make and model of the car that you're wanting to get. You don't necessarily have to have the year model, but the make and model would be good to have in there. But real property, real estate is advised to put in there, because that'll keep us from having to amend an address later on. If you've already done an address, that's fine. We're going with it. But if that property is not available when you go to get the funds, if it's off of the market at that time, then we can amend it with the corrected address anyway after you close on a property. we can send a correction in and do the actual address, but if needed. But until then, you're just going to put real property or real estate, or the make or model of the vehicle, or remodeling / reconstruction on the home, improvements, something like that.
And then if it's a car, you're going to put the price of the car plus your insurance plus a detail package if you want it. All of that in. You're going to make sure that when you're at the dealership, you're going to get all of your warranties, all of your oil changes, everything that they offer package wise. That's going to be the total price of your car or your truck. So if your truck is going to be $89,000 and you add insurance and maybe a detail package, plus the trustee fee, you're going to be looking at writing this for about $110,000, $115,000. That's going to give you all of those packages plus pay the trustee. And then you're going to have a little bit of cash left over for your pocket, basically, as long as it's not over the 20% mark. So, that's how that's going to work. If it's a house, you're going to put, if it's a $500,000 house, you're going to put $500,000 in box 4. Box 2 is going to be everything added up. So if it all adds up to, $650,000, then you're going to put $650,000, or you're going to put $675 just to make sure in case something changes. Prices are going up. By the time this money comes in 2 months, it might be things have gone up another couple of dollars. So make sure you give yourself a little bit of room. But if a house is $498,000 and that's what you write this 1099-A for, you've not covered anything, guys. The time you get the money,
you don't have closing costs in there. You don't have our percentage in there. You don't have improvements in there. No furniture, no moving costs. So if you get less in, then if we're basing it off of your line item 2 when we fill out the OID. So if that's not the amount that you want for all of that stuff, then just know you're going to get less back.
So yeah, guys, that's, and then if you find, and we'll just have to tell you, you're going to have to find a house less, for less than what this is. That way you can cover all of the expenses unless you have the money in your pocket to pay all of those expenses.
If we see something really low, we're letting you know, or we're trying to let everyone know. Because there have been a few that are extremely low for what you're trying to do. And for those cases, we're letting you know. So I have a box of people that we have to come back to. And again, please don't ask for a status update. I will come to you and let you know if you need to change anything.
Guys, our plans are to have everybody that was through the 10th. And I know that that's, a lot. Because a lot of people jumped on and submitted stuff within the first day of the live. I mean, it was crazy. We had the first week of just phone calls before we actually was on Midwest's channel, and then people just started hitting us with stuff. The amount of 1099-As that we've already processed, plus the amount of that we still have, we're trying to get everybody through the 10th right now done that has submitted something. If you have submitted us a 1099-A and your agreement through the 10th, we're going to have that done by midweek to the end of this week. Okay. And then everybody else will get done
within the next week
yeah, because I mean, this, even though it says 10 business days, guys, by the time they get our packet to release the funds, it's going to be 10 business days. That's 2 weeks. So, it's not a fast process. We're double checking. We're getting back to people. I'm looking back to make sure that If I have something, I didn't miss the agreement, or I got the agreement and I didn't miss the 1099-A. And, you know, so there's a lot of double checking. So, you know, your tax guy doesn't prepare your taxes in 24 hours, you know, unless you do it yourself on TurboTax. If you take your stuff to somebody to get them to do it, they're going to take their time and make sure things are done right. So that's, you know, we need y'all to understand that we're definitely double checking. There's other trustees out there, guys, and we've already heard that they're slammed too, and they're backed up as well. I mean, you can't, I mean, that's just going to happen. This is not a fast process. So let's see.
If you haven't heard from us, you can assume everything's good. Yes. We'll get back to you if something's wrong. Otherwise, we're working and processing your paperwork, and we'll get you a certified mail tracking number sent to you as soon as we get your packet out. What was the other question?
I'll look into that, Jake, Stu, to find out what's happened. And see, I didn't know I could post a link. Okay, I'll just look at it and see.
We're having to be, look, we're being very, very careful. If there's any disrespect within the channel, they're going to ban you. If anyone's shaky, stirring up the process within the channel, it's fine to ask questions. If you're shaky and on the fence about whether or not you want to do this, then take a step back, listen to Chris Hauser's videos, do some research, read the 1099-A publication and see what it says, and educate yourself. It's okay if you aren't ready, you aren't ready. Nobody's forcing you to do this. So take a step back and educate yourself. But if there's any I guess negativity within the group, that's not the community we're trying to build. So you know, if there's any disrespect, if there's any you know, just a number of things that we're just trying to protect our community so that we can all move forward, because I know a lot of groups get infiltrated and just negativity takes over the group, and we're trying to prevent that from happening. So but we'll check into what's going on. But we have a lot of admins behind the scene, and they don't make a decision on their own. So
Deshaun, you paid $50 from the Telegram on your YouTube page. I mean, unless were you told to pay $50? I'll have to get with you, man. Let me figure that out, because I don't know if I haven't received a $50. Let me double check on that and see. I mean, everybody's been sending me. I'll make sure and I'll get with you, because if you were told to send $50, no, we don't take $50 and to do your paperwork. We do all the paperwork processing for free, guys, unless you want to pay for your OID. That's the only thing we're asking for. So when we process the paperwork, and the only time we get paid is when the funds come in and we help close your deal or anything. So
we'll get with you on that. That's can we share the correct Telegram? There's a public channel. It's Jarrett Realty Investors. It's the same exact logo that we have on our YouTube. There's an open public channel. And then when you go into there, you can reach out to an admin to ask and request to be put into the chat. And there's some criteria to meet to go into the chat. So we're just doing that to keep spammers and, you know, scammers out of our channels. So don't take it personally. but we're protecting all of us in our community here when we have these people doing a lot of work behind the scenes to protect us.
That's fine if you've mailed us the agreement. I'll let you know when it comes in. If you have already printed it, then yes, you can go ahead and send it to us. And if it's been altered, we'll know what's been changed. So, but yes, if you've already printed the agreement and you want to sign that agreement and scan it back to us, guys, please. Some of these pictures, when we print them off, they're so dark that we can't see the signatures. So
I think that's a Hauser, don't you?
Probably. Oh, trust me, it's
tonight we're just doing a Q&A for those who came in and asked what's the topic for tonight. We're just doing a Q&A tonight, and we're going to get educational on Wednesday. We wanted to, since it's been several days since we talked, we're making sure that you don't have any questions. If you've asked questions on email or on Telegram and we haven't gotten back to you, and I know that there's a lot of them, and I know that we haven't gotten back to a lot of people, but now's your time to ask the question, so you're not waiting on us to answer it. If you can put your questions out here, we'll get to as many as we can tonight. That's our goal for tonight. Wednesday, we're going to come back, and I'm going to do some educational stuff.
Guys, some of these first-time calls, guys, we're not able to make all of them. I mean, that's why we're doing the videos, and that's why we're doing the lives and putting stuff out there. So, you know, there's a lot of learning that you can do from other channels as well, so that you understand the process. I don't have time to explain the process to every single person. I can't get your paperwork done.
That's why we're doing these lives. That's why we have a Telegram chat set up, that we have very, 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 very intelligent admins behind the scenes that can help you. They can answer pretty much every question that we can. Like, we've developed a really good team behind the scenes because we know we can't get to everyone. So we have people out there that can help you and talk to you on whatever you're having a problem with. And if, you know.
Yes. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I know that we want to talk to everyone too. Like, we like to meet all of you and talk to you, but in order to process your paperwork and do what you're asking us to do, we have to take the time to get that done. And we can't be on the phone and make mental and, you know, clerical errors because we're talking and trying to write and get paperwork out. It's too detailed of a process for us to be on the phone and do paperwork at the same time. So we're having to take away from doing your paperwork every time we have to make a phone call and answer questions. So if there's something that can't be answered somewhere else, or by some of our behind the scenes people, then by all means, we'll try to get to you and answer your questions. But
guys, anybody that needs an example of how to do something, please go to the Telegram channel. There is actually a great example of how to do it with bubbled in step-by-step stuff on the 1099A. You know, I'm just letting you know what needs to go in what box here. I don't have the ability to do all the different high-tech stuff and show you guys while I'm talking. Most of the time when you try to hold an example up, it's blurry anyway. So if you do not understand how to fill it out and what numbers go in there, please go to the Telegram channel. That has
I have put an example up there. There's bubbles telling you exactly what needs to go into each box. I mean, it's all broken down for you on what you need to do. So if you need to get into the Telegram channel, there are plenty of examples there on how to do everything that you need to do with the 1099A. And for those of you who don't understand what you're doing, I cannot tell you, I cannot say it enough that you need to know what you're doing. You need to understand the process. You need to go listen to Chris Hauser on his education and how the process works and what you're doing it for and why we can use it and all of those things. You can read the 1099A instructions. It goes over why you can use it. You can read publication 1212 and go over debt instruments and that kind of thing. But education is key. It's very important when you're doing this process to know who you are, the difference in the straw man and the beneficiary. And if someone doesn't understand that, please put it up here and I will answer that right now for you because yeah, sorry, Drew's watch, the lady on his watch didn't understand what I was talking about. So anyway, I just, there's a lot of educational people out there that can help you and that have videos that you can refer back to. And that's a goal that I have too, is to put some videos up, but I'm planning to do that this week. But there are examples ready for you to look at on our Telegram page.
If you corrected your 1099A, please just when you send the email back to us with the corrected, just put that in the subject line. Also, when it comes out, it'll say corrected. The box, when it prints out, guys, the box up there will be checked that it's been a corrected 1099A. So we'll know that it needs to be, that's the corrected version. So.
Yeah, when paying a bill, I've seen testimonies of paying a bill using the beneficiary name, working as the lender, and the strawman name. So you can use either the all caps or the beneficiary name in the lender box to pay the bill. I've seen both of them work, and we have a lot of testimonies to both of them. So I think that is more triggered by the social than it is the account, because that's your account number when paying a bill. It's opposite when you're borrowing to purchase something, but when you're paying a bill, I've seen the testimonies from both.
If you're paying the IRS your taxes, you're going to put your name as the lender, and you're going to put the IRS as the borrower. I want to answer that one. Send CEO letter to.
Yeah, how do we enforce if they don't want to accept it? If you sent the CEO letter to the debtor, how do we enforce if they don't want to accept our 1099A for payment? That's happening with a lot of people. You're going to have to stay in the fight, continue to fight. If they have taken your negotiable instrument and they have kept it, they have accepted your payment, even though they're not doing anything to show proof that they did. You're going to have to do a conditional acceptance, just like Chris Hauser tells you to do. I also put an example. I don't know if I have the example of the conditional acceptance. I might in the Telegram, but I know I just created a new template last week that I've had a problem with the CEO opening my mail and responding. So I put the 18 USC code into my template last week, and I put it up on Telegram for you to use and put your circumstances in it. That says that only the CEO is to open the mail. Otherwise, it's considered tampering. And I put the 18 USC codes on there. So you're going to have to conditionally accept them, send that letter that I put in there, which also conditionally accepts them with the amount of the lien that you can place on them. I would get that form notarized and then send it with your copy B and tell them that they need to file an OID, that the funds have been accepted and this has been paid in full. And then we're going to have to lien them. We're going to have to start doing what we say we're going to do and not be shaky about it. The agreement is not up on Telegram anymore since someone stole it to try to use it for a loan. So we're going to have to send it to you. We were trying to make it easier for you, but that's just not going to be possible right now. So what you'll do is say need a contract, not a contract because we need an agreement. Just put agreement, question mark, or something like that into the subject line, and we'll get you one sent out.
You should use the 2021 right now, guys. October 1st starts the 2022 for the 1099A.
Oh, I can tell you that a lot of these corporations and companies don't know. The little people, even the administrative assistant to the CEO doesn't know this process. They have no idea. I got a letter back saying that if I need to get any taxes back from what I spent on a credit card, I could go to the companies where I purchased it and they could. So they responded to the debt instrument, but in a way that I didn't ask them to respond. Okay. So we just have to the more we keep on, the more they're going to have to learn the process. And the more we stand up to them as a group, the more they're going to definitely have to learn the process.
I mean, we do e-file and physicals. So if you have a bunch of physical ones and there might be people out here that need them. So, if you're in the Telegram group and want to post that in the Telegram group, that you have some extra 1099As, because I know a lot of people are wanting the physical copy because they're actually wanting to send in their wedding signature. That was one of the suggestions that Hauser made the other night. And that actually is pretty smart. We are filing things online, but you can send us the corrected one with your wedding signature, and we can submit that as well, just so they have it on file, guys.
I would submit that after, not to confuse them. I would submit that correction after we've received funds so that they can have that wedding signature on file for that transaction. But I wouldn't confuse the process.
Yes, guys, that's another thing. One house, one car, one boat. If you're getting a boat per filing, I mean, you can't do 2 houses, 2 cars, 2 boats, whatever, and us file every one of them, guys. You have to space it out. It's 1 per year. So
1 car, 1 house per trust per year. Also, if you're reaching out to us for financial advice or legal advice, we aren't attorneys. We aren't financial advisors. So, we don't offer legal help or financial help. But we give suggestions and scenarios of things that we've experienced and what we've gone through, and ways that you could possibly handle those. But we aren't attorneys and we aren't financial advisors. So
another thing too, guys, so we can get y'all moved into some of these other groups on the Telegram. As we send you your certified number, or even before, if you will send us back your Telegram handle or Telegram username, because I know some of y'all have different usernames than what you actually go by. And that way we can find and give you the invite link to the group that you need to be in. You can either DM me, so I have all of them. And then that way I can go through and find, if you DM me, just go ahead and put your name in there so I know who I'm looking for, and I can send you the invite link to the groups as people start getting into these groups. So, and the admins are putting those people in as well.
The mods, would y'all look at the link that we have if you can? If you can't, we'll discuss this after. But if you have access to put the link to our channel, our public channel, into our YouTube, they say that the link that's in there right now is taking them to a fake one. So will y'all double check that for me if you can? If not, we'll do it after.
We can get on, not today.
I can go into those UCC codes and repossession and foreclosure and all of that. I'll put that down as a topic of discussion. What I can say in the meantime is take that fee sheet that I have on Telegram, do a conditional acceptance, and start leaning people because they took your property.
So, if you've already had your email go to your copy B go to the company or to the CEO of that company, I would follow up. I would send my copy B with a letter too, explaining what they received, so that they know that they're supposed to take care of it. So, if your 1099 is accepted, yes, you can go ahead and send that to us. You can either do it in Telegram through a DM, or you can email it to us, Jarrett Realty Investors at gmail.com. No, I don't need anybody's EIN, only your social on the 1099A.
You can build your own home. If you're wanting us to collect the funds and give it to the builder, we can do that. Or if a builder that you find is willing to accept the 1099A, tell them to watch our videos, because they can actually accept them too, if they're willing to. Actually, if you look on the tax statements themselves, they say that they're voluntary. The 1040 it states that it's voluntary. If you read through it, if you're not a federal employee, taxes only apply to federal employees.
Oh, hold up. So our email link is taking you to a fake email address, and they're asking for $2,000 to file a loan on $100,000 today. So guys, I guess our email link has been hacked. I guess it's come from Telegram. I guess I'll have to pull it off, or from YouTube, I would say, and see what's going on. Like I said, we're working on getting all that secured up even more, so that nobody can get any of this stuff. So just be careful. If they're asking for money,
it's not us.
If they're asking to, for you to give them so much money up front, they're going to give you a $100,000 loan or $75,000 loan, or they're wanting $100 or $1,500 or $50 to even file your paperwork. That's not us, guys. So
you're going to pay the IRS directly. We're not going to do that for you. That's something that you need to fill out online, e-file, and send to them directly. And then you don't have a trustee fee at all. That's just between you and them.
Make sure if you're sending something to a company, you're sending it certified return receipt, guys. Get that receipt so that you contract with them. No, you do not have to file the W-8 BEM before doing any other filings or anything. If you know who you are, guys, then you know who you are. If you're not a citizen of the United States and then you're not a citizen, guys. It's how you talk. It's how you
You have to know the straw man versus the beneficiary to do this process. You've got to know the difference in who you are, because if anyone asks you questions, even your friends and family, if they ask you, how did you do this? You've got to be able to explain to them the difference in the straw man, the beneficiary, and how you got to where you are right now. If you cannot answer those questions, please do not file a 1099-A. Go watch Chris Hauser's channel and do some educating on what you're doing, because you can't explain, you can't help anyone if you don't know. So you can't help yourself if you don't know either, because that's the reason we're doing this process. So that's the fundamental reason why you can even do this. And so if you don't know that, you've got to educate yourself on that and slow down. Learn that process first and then file a 1099-A.
We can hold the funds in the escrow.
Glad to hear it.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, my watch keeps trying to answer questions, guys.
We can hold it in the escrow, but we would prefer not to hold them more than 30 to 45 days, which is your standard average close time on a house. It would be about the standard time if you ordered a vehicle and it had to be shipped in. So preferably 30 to 45 days. We don't want to hold them too long, to be honest with you.
Not wedding signature, wet ink, meaning that you signed it with a pen. If you've emailed us within the last 5 days, guys, I mean, we're still trying to catch up. I mean, I promise we'll get to them. I think there's 1,300 emails. So, and that's just on the Jarrett Realty email. So that doesn't count how many are in the other two when we first started, guys.
And if you're sending us anything on Facebook, I can tell you we're not on Facebook very often. We got off of that. I mean, we're on there to do some things, but not very often. Everything that we do is on Telegram and on our emails mainly. So if you're asking us stuff on Facebook, I haven't been to it in a while.
The company that you're trying to discharge with, they'll have to fill out the 1099-C. That's who fills out the discharge, guys. So, I mean, you can talk to them and let them know it's in their best interest to do the 1099-C to discharge it, but you can't fill that out. They'll have to.
Yes, we can. If you're building and going through stages of building a pool or doing construction and that kind of thing, yeah, we can pay out in phases, but we're still paying out. As long as we're paying out that money, I just don't want to hold a whole lot of money there for a long period of time. But if you're doing a new construction or something like that, or, improvements or building or whatever, we can definitely send just like lenders do in phases.
So on the gas cards, guys, we're just going to have to figure out which cards will hold, the most money at one time. So, we're not.
Well, we're going to have to talk. We're going to have to talk to. We're going to have to talk to a couple of places that do debit cards on that too. So for gas purposes. So we're going to work on that also, but we don't have an answer for that fully yet.
I mean, yeah, our first funds, I saw somebody asking the first funds. We're looking or praying the first funds. If everything is true from what 1099 online says would be here sometime first to the middle of next week. But if it is not released in the 10 business days like they are saying, then we're going to be looking at, middle of next month sometimes. So, it's just kind of what their actual, if what they're saying is actually true.
You can pay credit cards on your own. You don't need us to help you with that. You can just go look at the example on Telegram, and it shows you how to write out the bill. The business loan thing, if you're trying to pay a business loan or a business something.
He's personally liable for it, so yeah.
Yeah, you can. As long as you're personally liable for it, you can pay it with using a 1099-A.
Yeah, you can do the 1099-A to get a vehicle, guys. We can do the vehicle for you. Money comes in, you go pick out your car. We'll send the money to the dealership. Or if you can get them to become the trustee in the situation.
We're not going to train on trustee, how to be a trustee right now. We will have to make sure that our process is completely perfected, and then we'll give you instruction on how to become a trustee. But right now, I'm not going to give anyone information on how to become one until we know that we've got it perfected.
Yeah, guys. If we're not able to help you because of the volume, I don't know their names. I know that Midwest has a couple of trustees that are working on are helping out. I know there was a group of 4. I know that he did a thing with a guy in the Atlanta area on cars the other day. So I know he's had several come on there that are willing to help out. Some of them, are only going to take a couple until they see that it works, just to make sure that they don't get overwhelmed with everybody. So
you're going to use whatever's on your Social Security card for your name, if you're married or.
Did it go away? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just saw a comment and they said, yeah, she's swamped too. I mean, guys, this movement is taking off, and there's only a very, very few people that are trustees right now. And, like I said, as we find out that this system is working and the things, we're showing results, then yes, we're going to train people, and we're going to work on, building a team of trustees, because there's no way we can handle all of you guys as it starts building.
The best thing I can tell you in the meantime is educate on what the 1099-A is, what the OID is, Publication 1212. Straw man versus beneficiary. You cannot know too much to be a trustee. I can tell you that. Because if you get audited, you're going to have to answer for you're going to have to know what you're doing and how you're able to access this and why you're able to help these people and all of those types of questions. So I would say in the meantime, if you want to become a trustee, just definitely educate. We're working as fast as we can. I know it's frustrating. I know that everybody's in a hurry, but regardless of how big of a hurry that you're in, we can only make the process as fast as the Treasury allows it. You're filing everything online. We're filing the OIDs online. We're following up. And I say following up with the paper trail because we're submitting everything that we can online. So technically, we're not holding anything up. We're just following up with the paper trail. So you're filing online. We're filing your OID online if you've sent us payment. If you haven't sent us payment, we're sending out the OID and all of that by paper, but we're following up with a paper trail anyway so that everything has writing on it from us.
I might have messaged a couple of people back yesterday on Telegram, but I didn't message a whole lot of people. So, you know, if you get a message from me, guys, it's actually under Drew Jarrett. It's not under Jarrett Realty Investors. It'll be DJ. Because it's coming straight from my personal Telegram.
If it says still processing from April 9th, yes, I think that that's okay. It's usually fast, but I know that there's been a little bit of a delay. I'm thinking that it's tax time, and IRS and the Treasury are in the same building. So I'm sure it's pretty chaotic there for tax dates today. I can't answer for that to be 100% true, but I could see where that could slow things down a bit. But if it's processing since the 9th, you should have an acceptance soon. If not, then it depends on how much you ask for. I don't know what we would have to just look at your scenario and see.
I mean, if you're going through a divorce, you can still get your 1099-A process, guys. Remember, your trust is not joined together because you're married. I have a trust. Tara has a trust. It's not joined because we got married to each other.
You can't use your 1099-A for a business. As far as
for your lease, for your business lease.
If your business is liable for the lease and it's in the business name, no. If it's in your personal name, then I would say yes, probably. If you're personally liable, you can use it for personal things. It depends on how it's set up.
You do not have to change your status before accessing your trust. Ask Hauser.
You don't have to change your status.
He's never changed status.
Yeah. You have to know who you are. If you know who you are and you can answer the questions, but I don't think that it hurts to have your paperwork done. That's just my opinion. I think that having that in the de facto record, if you get pulled over in a traffic or whatever, I think that they can pull it up with a QR code. I don't think that it hurts to have that, but you don't have to have that. It's very important in this process to be able to answer for who you are, how you're able to access this, why you're able to do this. And again, I cannot stress, if you don't know that, either we need to go over it educationally here, or, you need to educate a whole lot more on what the straw man versus a beneficiary means.
We've explained that, guys. You'll know when your paperwork has been sent when we send you the certified number. Just because that's the paper trail. That doesn't mean that we haven't already filed the OID online, guys. So it's the paper trail where we're making sure to that they have everything else that they need so that they all match. I don't trust the IRS. I want a paper trail. as much as I want it online, so it's faster. So, you know, as we get those packets together and we get another stack put out, we'll send out all the certified numbers. She's been trying to email people this evening before we started their certified numbers. And then we'll have another batch out tomorrow with a bunch of numbers, and we'll try to get all those caught up as well.
I understand a lot of you don't have time to educate, but I certainly don't either right now. But every time I get in the car to ride with him, every time I sit down, lay down, I have a book in my hand. I spend every minute that I have just getting a little bit of education, a little bit of education. And when you do a little bit at a time, you'll learn the process more quickly than you think.
What?
Sorry, I'm pointing out something real fast. Yeah, there's people in here that are giving information on where to go educate. There's a lot of people that are giving help to channels that can help educate on some of this stuff. So just kind of look in the chat and you'll see some people offering some advice for help on education.
Yeah, Major Thrash, thanks. That's true, guys. We got to slow down. Y'all, everybody's heard, oh, I can get this, and they just start filling it out. If you don't know how to fill it out correctly, it's going to be a problem. And, you know, and then we're having to come back to you guys over and again to get it fixed, when if you would just slow down, the money's there, the house is going to be there. You know, it might not be the one that you wanted to begin with, but there's going to be another house. But we have to slow down. We know that there's a lot of people out there in bad situations. You know, so we're trying to get everybody worked through so that we can, you know, get everybody what they're looking to get.
And we're still getting, so I don't know if, I feel like we've been very repetitive in this, but we're still getting text messages and phone calls, voicemails and emails about, we found a house. Can you provide proof of funds? We found a house. Can you provide proof of funds? We want to go see this house. Can you provide proof of funds? I can't. Until I have proof of funds, I can't say that we have funds that we don't have. If you have written the 1099-A and you're running out to find the house now, that's a bad idea. In my opinion, that's a bad idea. You're going to have to put down earnest money. Again, you're going to have to put down earnest money. There's a possibility of losing it. If you're writing a 1099-A and running out to get a house, that's a very, very, very bad idea. And it's not one that I recommend at all. It's much easier to say, we have the funds, go find a house. Sure, we have the earnest money and proof of funds. We can show you both. And then we wire the earnest money over, and then you can close within 7 to 10 days. So there's really, when you have cash in hand, there's not much of a wait time unless you have to wait on the people to move out.
Thanks for that information, Spot Free Solar. So yeah, if I can't get them to do it, I'll talk to the general postmaster to make sure our mail is not getting diverted or intercepted, and everything's getting done the way it needs to be done and getting there. So.
What topics do y'all want to hear more education on while we're in here? Give some ideas on what topics you want to discuss on Wednesday, because I'm going to put together one educational topic to go over on Wednesday. I'm not going to go all over the place like I normally do. I'm going to focus on one topic on on Wednesday. So if you want to vote on that here and vote on that in Telegram, that would be helpful. And then I can put together something really good that you want to hear education wise. So maybe we can create something in Telegram to vote on some topics or something like that, or just put it in the comments and I'll look at it and see. We're going to do a few more questions and then we're going to call it a night so y'all can get with your families and dinner and all of that. And we're going to get back to filing more paperwork, and then we'll be back on Wednesday with more education. So we won't be doing, we'll answer a few questions at the beginning and then we'll dive right into education on Wednesday night. Closing costs on a house, I would say anywhere from 2 to 5% just to be, and I would 2 is low. I would more like 3 to 5% to make sure that you're good on the closing costs.
Yes, we're going to do just an educational day on Wednesday, guys. So, you know, there's a lot of information out there on the 1099A. Yeah. So, we've got a lot of examples in the Telegram. We also have a lot of admins that are out actually helping with that. You don't have to have the 1099A in hand to do anything. If you file it online, that'll get you your copy B back, and then you can submit that with your agreement. So I know people are saying, can we get the agreement? If you are in the Telegram channel and you have not gotten an agreement, you need to just ask the admins. They will get it for you. If you're not part of Telegram and you are asking for it on email, I will do my best to get them out as quick as I can, guys. Like I said, we've got 1,300 emails just in one of the email addresses. So, you know, we got people going through them, but we also are trying to get through them. But we're right now focused on trying to catch all this paperwork up so that we can get everybody that we've already received out the door. So.
If it's within the 20% guideline, we can disperse that to you to go and purchase. Kevin, on your question.
Yes, you still are still get your Social Security retirement if you go into the private.
You need to get the EIN number call the child support office in the county in Arizona where you are, and see if they should be able to give you the EIN number to pay them.
The agreement's just on the 1099A, guys, for that amount, not on your entire Sesta K trust. You know, we're only doing 5% of, you know, the car purchase or the house purchase, you know, and then you're getting whatever's left over that you put down, as long as it's not more than 20%. If it's more than 20%, then you'll have to look at some other things to get it to purchase to get it down to that 20%. So
there's only one type of 1099A form. It's acquisition and abandonment.
So there's been a lot of things, a lot of questions on here saying, well, do you just only have to have debt to do it? Abandonment's your debt, guys. Acquisition is to buy stuff. So if you did it for a car loan, that's going to go to the CEO of the company that has your loan. You should see a note in there that says accepted. So you'll need to follow up with that company to see if they got that 1099-A.
If you've sent money for the OID, it's getting filed online. So they know who the recipient is. As long as they have a recipient of where the funds are going and the form showing where it's going, which we filed, then yeah, there shouldn't be a holdup.
You won't have to put a CEO in for the IRS, guys.
Someone put our link to our Telegram in the chat. Can we drop the Telegram public channel into the chat again? Some people are still asking for it, if possible, so that they know, because they said that there's a lot of fake ones when they try to find ours. So ours, I don't know how many. Let me look. Let me see how many followers we have on there.
Okay. So I've been using the same free mail system that I was using before putting the certified sticker on there, guys. And up until last week, I had no problems. Now all of a sudden they're intercepting everything. Everything I was sending to businesses, to other people, to the Treasury was going in fine. And now all of a sudden, everything that I send gets intercepted by our post office here. I think it's just that I started trouble whenever I got irritated because he wouldn't give me my package and was trying to make me pay for it that somebody had sent, because he didn't understand the codes and all the stuff that was on it, and he felt like I needed to pay the $5.11, which, because I needed to get the package, I went to the post office and actually paid for it. So because that was somebody's 1099-A that needed us to file it.
Yes.
Chris Chapman, I'm not explaining the OID to you guys. That's not for, if you want to learn the OID and how to fill it out and you want to figure that out, then you figure out how to fill out the OID. There's plenty of videos on that. Right now, we're not worried. We're not focusing on the OID in this group.
Let me see.
So if you're new to this, start back at the first video. Go into looking at some of Chris Hauser's videos. There's all kinds of people out there that are explaining how the 1099-A works. You can get into the Telegram channel. There's people that will explain it to you and help you fill out the process. So
the agreement's no longer in files again. We had to take it out because of people using it to try to do loans with it today. Yes, you can pay off a mortgage if that's what you're asking me in the home debt question, global mindset. If you can pay off a mortgage, and then turn around and purchase a property, yes, that's different. You can't purchase two properties at one time, but if you're paying off a debt that you already have, that's different. If you're already in foreclosure, or are you in pre-foreclosure? If it's already been foreclosed on, look at your state and see how long you have to come back and remedy your foreclosure process. I know Texas is 2 years. So It depends on what stage you are in the pre-foreclosure. If you have already been foreclosed on, you have a 2-year process. If you're in Texas, I don't know how many in your state or what state you're in. But if you haven't been foreclosed on, you need to do a 1099-A, send copy B, with a letter template or something like that I put up, so that you make sure that it gets to the CEO, and then tell them to file the OID as paid for and see what happens. You check the box when the borrower is responsible for paying back the debt. So when you're paying a debt back, you're going to check that box, but not when you're purchasing something.
There you go, guys. I just pinned the Telegram channel. Thanks, Dana. I didn't know how to do all that, but
we have 1,352 subscribers on our public channel. So I think that's right. I'm not the best with Telegram. That's why I don't do much with it. I answer questions, and that's about it.
1,150 members. Is that in
the public channel and the chat? I guess is what the chat. You're going to need an invitation link. So if you go into the public channel and you want to go into the chat, the admins are going to let you in. We have a process of pulling people into that. So, yeah, Chris, we know that it's intercepted. We are in talks with the post office. They are telling us that it's going to where we sent it. So I don't know what that. We're working with them. Drew talked to them on Friday and today, and he's calling them tomorrow. The inspector, whatever. Yes, postmaster, inspector, whatever.
Postal inspector. That's who they told me to call first, and I'll start there, and then we'll go from. Nothing got resolved the last time I called them, so we'll just call them again. So,
yeah.
So, all right, guys.
Yes, if you're paying a company to rent your property, you can pay them with a 1099-A. If you're paying person to person, they have to be willing to accept it.
No, we were not doing the loan, guys. That's not us. So please be careful. So
we're doing everything to help pay off debt. We're not creating one for you. So yeah. We would never give you a loan that you're going to have to repay. That's not what we're doing at all. That's opposite of what we're doing here. So the people that are trying to scam you have no idea what they're talking about, because we are trying to get rid of loans, period. You can put vehicle, automobile purchase, something like that. If you don't know what you want on the make and model, that's fine.
Yeah, if you filed a 1099-A, it's still accepted, guys. I mean, is that what you're asking?
We're still accepting clients as long as you're willing to wait through the process. If you're impatient, we're not the trustee for you. We have people in really bad situations, a lot of people in really bad situations, and we're doing the best we can for everyone, but even for those that are in bad situations, this is not a fast process. It's not. And so, if you're in a situation where you're homeless and you don't have a place to go and you're looking for a place to live, your best bet is to try to find a person that has compassion to rent from, that is willing to take a 1099-A and pay the whole year up front. If they're willing to let you pay with a 1099-A and give you a place to live, that's going to be the fastest process that I can think of right this minute.
So, guys, if you have sent me an agreement or a 1099-A online or on Telegram in the DMs, I will say received. I will say thanks. Everything that I do is pretty short unless I'm responding to a question. So if you did get that, and it will say, it'll have DJ. It's not coming from from Jarrett Realty Investors. It'll actually say Drew Jarrett, because that's my username. So my initials will be in the little bubble. I don't have a picture in it. So yes, so be careful with that. If I haven't responded to you and said received or thanks or got it, or then I haven't opened the DM yet and printed it off. So I will get to all those, like I said, over the next couple of days and get them all caught up. So.
If any of you, I know someone on here is willing, they're looking to rent their apartment out and they know the 1099-A process. If we have anybody on here that has property that you're willing to rent out with a 1099-A to get some of our people off of the streets and that are living in their cars with children, please help. If you know any friends, family, neighbors, anyone in your community or anything like that that has rental property that's willing to take a 1099-A to help those in need, please let us know and we will reach out. And I do confirm that they are in that situation because there's a lot of people scamming. Obviously, they're scamming on a lot of things. So we are confirming that they're in that situation. So we're not gonna just assume that they are. We're gonna make sure for you before we send them your way. But if you have anybody, friends, neighbors, any community that's willing to help some of our people that are living in cars, please let me know.
All right, guys, we're gonna shut it off and go ahead and close with a prayer. So,
dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this time together. Thanks for bringing us together and learning from each other on how we can move forward in steps towards freedom, Lord Jesus. I pray that you would protect each and every one of us. I pray that you would help all of those that are in need right now. Just be with them and give them the sense of peace and calm that only you can provide in that time, Lord Jesus, and just protect them and their children as they are going through a tough time. And just be with each one of them and send us good people our way so that we can help them out. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen, guys. One last thing, I did see somebody asked, is their information protected? I've heard that Telegram, when you send us something or you send a DM or you send a document or whatever, it's protected. They're getting the names from the list, guys. They're getting the names by going in and clicking up at the top where it drops down. They're not able to get what you've sent me. They're just able to get the names, and then they're reaching out to you guys from their channel. So yes, your information is protected. We do not give out anybody's information, guys. So, all right, guys, you have a great night. God bless, and we'll talk to y'all on Wednesday.
Thank you. Good night.